Everybody, Eric Taylor, Trail Hunter USA, back with a big project today. Welcome back. I'm going to build a power system in my Bronco, an auxiliary power system that's going to take the load off the starter battery. As you know, I'm changing my rig over to an Overland rig, so it's important to have all the power you need. With this system, I don't think I'm going to need any kind of solar, and I'll explain that as we move along in today's video. And this system I'm going to build here is going to allow me to have power wherever I want to put it in the Bronco, versus a power station that's in one spot. I'll have this set up to where I can run power up into my tent if I want, and run it to the back of the Bronco, front of the Bronco, whatever I need. So I'm going to set this system up. I went with these Time USB lithium ion batteries. I got two 50 amp batteries, so I'll have 100 amp hours, which is about 1,280 watts of power I'll be able to push with these. And these batteries, one of the reasons I went with them is they have, another reason I went with them is they have the battery management system in it, the BMA. These lithium ion batteries will not charge, or you're not supposed to charge them once they get below 32 degrees Fahrenheit. So the battery management system in them will not let the charger charge them if these batteries get below 32 degrees Fahrenheit. And the battery, it does other things, but that's one of the most important things. If you don't get batteries that have the battery management system in it, you'll have your charger that you use to charge these will have to have a system in it to stop it. And to charge these batteries, I went with the Renogy DC to DC battery charger, and this is the 50 amp battery charger. You could have went with a smaller one, but I chose the 50 amp. And with this sucker here, if these get 100% depleted within a couple of hours, these will be charged. So in an overlanding situation, you're usually going from camp to camp. If these get 100% depleted, which will be very, very rare with this charger, it'll be charged in a couple hours. So that's one reason I say I probably will not need to use solar. This does have a solar attachment on it as well if you want to carry solar with you. I don't see that I'll ever need solar. You know, if I get where I'm in a place for 2 or 3 days and I'm getting low on power, then I will just crank the Bronco up for a while. So and then I got this Renogy BT2 Bluetooth monitor, and what this does, it'll hook up to the charger, and I'll be able to use an app and monitor the charging progress, monitor these batteries, and monitor the whole power system with this. Okay, this is not a requirement to have the power system in to run the power like I want to, but if you want to get an inverter, I got the Renogy 2000 watt pure sine wave inverter. You certainly don't have to have one this big, but I'm going to power a lot of stuff with it, and I'll be able to power anything I want with the 2000 watt. And it came with the cables needed for it, and I think remote for it. May not ever need that, but it came with it. I've also got some bus bars here to use, and I've already purchased a couple of extra cigarette lighter / USB ports that I can run anywhere I want in the vehicle and have it. I'm going to run one up front, because if you've got a Bronco like I do, you know that it's lacking on power outputs up there. And then I've got the connectors here, ring connectors I got them for the 6 amp and the 6 gauge and 4 gauge battery cables. I got these soldering connectors. By the way, all the links to this stuff that I have that you're going to need to build your own will be in the description below. I got 60 amp fuses. I got 100 amp fuses, and I got the this is the 4 gauge, I think, cable. And like all projects, I got the crimpers here for my crimp. And all right, so let me show you guys where I'm going to put this. Okay, you know, if you see my previous videos, I've got dogs, and I think I've already got a video out that shows how I'm going to set up my back seat for the dogs. I've decided to go ahead and leave the back seats in for my Overland build, and I'm going to leave them up like this. And what I'm going to do is, you know, I'm going to build a system. I'm going to have a board that comes across here, give them room. That'll give me extra storage space under the seats. And I'm going to put the power unit right here underneath that board, and I'm going to build a box for it and attach it in there. So that's where that's going to go. Okay, I built this box. I think it's going to work. I'm just going to be honest with you guys up front. I'm not an electrical guy, so this is a little bit intimidating for me, but I've watched a few videos. I think it'll be pretty easy to do it. But anyway, I built this box. I'm going to set it in there. It's a piece of plywood on the bottom, 1x6s. And what I'm going to do, I'll have a 1x6 setting up here around, and I believe I'll be able to attach my bus bars and things up here along the sides. And then I'll have another board across the top. I'm going to set the inverter up on top here. And then all of that will fit underneath the, I hope, if I've got everything measured right, fit underneath that board I'm going to have across the seats. If not, I may have to do something else, but I'm into it now. The biggest part of this job is going to be cutting the right length of these cables for everything. So that's going to take up cutting the right length, putting on the end caps, and so I'm just going to get started. Okay, everybody, a little break in the action here. I want to see if you can tell something's different compared to what was before, besides this box that I built for these batteries. Many of you may have caught it in the first part of the video. I started out showing you guys a 2,000 watt inverter. Well, somewhere along the way here, a light bulb went off and said, if I've got two batteries that can put out 1280 watts, I certainly can't use a 2000 watt inverter, or I shouldn't use. So yes, I'm glad I bought it on Amazon. I had like 2 or 3 days left to get it returned, so I got it returned and bought a Renogy 1000 watt inverter instead of the 2000. So another question I had was, why would I not buy, this is 250 amps, why would I not just go ahead and buy a 100 amp battery? Well, the 100 amp battery was higher, and in the situation that I want to put this in my Bronco, I needed them not as tall in height. But however, I have found out, or I've heard, I'm not sure if it's 100% certain because I didn't do a lot of research on it. I did see one post where someone said you could lay these lithium batteries on the side. So if you can, and I could have got away with just a 100 amp hour battery instead of 250 amp hours, but what you do with these, you run them what's called in parallel, and I'll show you that once I get them get it all set up, and it becomes a 100 amp hour product with the 2 batteries. So and I actually messaged Time USB Batteries to make sure that that was okay, and asked them how much watts that this would produce, and they said it would be equal to 100 watt 100 amp hour battery with 1280 watts, or he said 1.28 kilowatts. So that's the answer to that. Now I'm going to keep doing the modifications to all this. Okay, we're going to run the cable to the box, to the batteries. Of course, I've talked about this. We're putting the battery box here. So I'm going to run the cables up through here and through here, and then on the Bronco, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but up under here, is that in focus? There's a place to run wiring and stuff through. You can see there's a red. Okay, I've got it run up through the hole. The hole's right there if you can see it. I don't know if you can see it in the video, but comes through there, and basically what you'll need to do, I pulled the rubber piece out and you got to put a slit in it with a knife. This here, I'm going to explain this in a minute, but for now I've got to cut the ends for this and get them ready. All right, everybody, before I get this hooked up, turned on, actually I had to order something that should be here today, and I'll show you that later, but I want to run these extra, it's a 12 volt outlet and two USB, and that's a 12 volt, and I think I'm going to, because my radio runs off a 12 volt, and now I have to run it from back here, run the wiring all the way through up to here, and I need more USB ports up front. I think I'm going to put it here. I'm still not 100% certain, but I'm going to take this out, and the way you do that is get your shifter into neutral, and of course make sure your brakes on, and then you should be able to pop this up with a handy tool. We'll see. There we go. It's an incredibly nice day. Oh, there goes all the bells and whistles. There we go. Okay, I've been trying to figure this out for a while now, and the only place I can't put it here because of the seat. I was going to put it here, same thing, seat, if I have the cigarette lighter sticking out. Up here it'll be in somebody's leg way. The only real place I could probably put it is right there, one on each side of that one, but it's kind of close in there, and I really don't have a good tool to cut that. So what I've decided to do is mount something inside here, and I've built something here. I'm going to just mount that inside there, and I can run my wiring out into here. I've already cut a hole through there, and I'm going to use this. I had a couple of these small jackeries, and I can power this from there and use those to run out for my charge my cell phones and iPad. Actually, the iPad, I'll be able to use this one up front for the iPad. This should work. What I have to do now is splice some wires on here to run it back to my battery, and I had this here in the garage, so I'll just use that and get that done. Okay, I got these connected here to the bus boards, negative on the negative, positive on the positive. We should have power up here. Yep. So now I'm going to mount that in there and close it up. Okay, before I mount it, I wanted to show you, I run this one goes in here to my power bank, that it will charge it all the time, so it will always be ready. And then this will come out, that will be for my phone, and then this goes up to the radio. Okay, this other line I told you guys I was going to tell you about later. It is, if you have a smart alternator, which most newer vehicles do, what happens is the alternator will quit charging the starter battery if it senses that the starter battery is fully charged, and we don't want that to happen. So somehow this will be connected to my charger in the back, my Renogy, and somehow this connected to the fuse panel will trick the alternator into not quit charging, so we can continually charge our batteries while we're driving. And what you have to do is find a fuse that is only on whenever you turn the key on. And I found this schematic online for the Bronco, and I know that one for the USB smart charger, I know for sure the USB chargers up front only work when the battery, when your ignition is on. So in this case it's 125, it's this 10 amp one here. And what I'll do is I'll take that out and I will put that back in here, and then this one will be, you can use these things come with a fuse, so I don't know that it matters that much. 10, 5, 10, 20 probably be okay. Fuse for the line that goes back to our charger, and then this will go in to where the fuse is, and that way you'll have a connection. Now this is the micro one. This is what you need for the Bronco. I think a mini works with the JLU Jeeps, and I'm not sure about anybody else, and they make a large one too. So you want the micro for the Bronco. Okay, I got the trick wire for, I'm sure that's not the proper terminology for this thing, but I got it hooked up in front. It just goes in here where it says IGN ignition, goes right there. Now what I'm going to do, I've got everything run, all the cables, for the accessory mounts and stuff for the power throughout the vehicle. I've not finished all that, but I can come back at any time and hook those up to the bus bars. So I'm going to hook up the Renogy power charger, and okay, I've got everything hooked up but the main power to the starter battery up front is still not hooked up. I don't have the Bluetooth hooked up yet, but just wanted to mention, hopefully you can see this well, the blue light on the right, that indicator is tells you what type of battery you have, and I'm reading this as I go. So that is the battery type indicator. This is the service battery indicator, solar charging indicator, and alternator charging indicator. And the blue light there means it's lithium. There's a button over here that you push to change the charger for what type of battery you have. And the yellow there, I found out that means that the battery voltage is normal. So if it's green, the battery voltage is full. If it's red, it's overcharged or low temperature or something like that. So everything looks good. I want to hook up the Bluetooth now. Okay, I've got the Bluetooth hooked up. I got the app up. If you can see, lithium, that would be the starter battery. We'll see it running here in a minute. All right, we got it running. The red light on is indicating that the power is coming from the alternator or the battery, starter battery, and not solar. And this is what the app looks like. Pretty cool. Same thing. Looks like the engine alternator to the starter battery to the Renogy over to our battery setup. House battery is 14.2 volts, starter battery 14.3, starter battery amps, house battery charging amps 48.2. I think what I'm going to do is I've got a couple hours of driving to do today, so it's before I get all this set up the way it should be, I'm going to let it battery charge, and then I'm going to hook everything up to it and let you see the final product. So I'll catch you guys later. Okay, it fully charged on the road in about 30 minutes, so I know this thing is working properly. Now all I've got to do is clean it up. Again, I'll clean it up, and I've got to put the inverter on it, and this will look a lot better when I get done with it. But just to kind of review, the positive cable from the battery, from the starter battery, runs into this 60 amp fuse, and out of the 60 amp fuse the power is run straight to the Renogy 50 amp charger. And then this is the cheat wire that comes from the fuse box up front that tricks the smart battery into not stop charging. The black cable is the negative or the ground cable. It goes straight into the bus bar, and then then from the bus bar to the Renogy is the other negative cable. I've got while I'm here, I've got the Bluetooth hooked in there, and this is where the smart cable, trick cable comes in. Okay, then the out is going to run down through the 60 amp fuse, and then this runs straight into the first battery. And the batteries are running parallel, which positive, negative to negative. And then off the back battery, the negative runs to the bus bar for the grounding. On this side, the back battery, I ran the positive through a 100 amp fuse, and this runs straight in to the positive bus bar. And then I can run accessories off of that. I've already got one run up front, and then I've got this one here that I've set up. I may move that around, I don't know. I've got the refrigerator hooked in here now. And then you've seen those, I'm not going to show you that. And then these two cables are hooked into the bus bar, and they're going to go to my 1000 watt pure sine inverter. So you will see all of these put together. It'll look a lot better when I get finished here, so we'll be right back. Okay, everybody, I think I am done. And this is what it looks like. Renogy set up. I've got some cables there that I don't really know how to hide. But everything is on and running. I attached this for now. I'm going to find something better to use than that. I really hate this. These things suck. All right, everybody, I've had questions on how I'm going to run power to my diesel heater because it takes more. If you can't just use a regular 12 volt cigarette lighter, because I've had so many problems with them, and and other people have too. And one of the keys is the amps that those things pull is not enough for diesel heaters. My diesel heater came with this one, which I will be using. I'll hook this up to my battery system, to the positive and negative bus bars, and it has the adapter that connects to the diesel heater is the same thing, the same type that connects to my refrigerator. So I'm going to order another one of these for my refrigerator so I don't have to mess with the cigarette lighter stuff. And this is, I think, is 20 amp or 15 amp, either one. Either one will be fine for either the diesel heater. I'm told 15 amp is plenty. Most of the regular plugs are 10 amps, and that's one of the problems with them working. So I'm going to use this style plug and cord for each of those, for the diesel heater and the refrigerator. Just wanted to add that in here. All right, I'm going to end this video in the garage. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'm going to just answer the big question: why not use a power bank instead of build this system like I did? Well, if you can tell, the system far outweighs a power bank. I can run outlets throughout the vehicle. I can run my refrigerator now and my diesel heater without worrying about the stupid cigarette lighter plugs that always fail. I've got power all the time as my truck is running, my Bronco is running, that is powering up. It'll stay powered up all the time. I won't have to worry about power anymore, which is a great feeling. So that far outweighs any power bank, in my opinion. It's got more power than a 1,000-watt power bank, which costs $1,000. The system that I bought, most of it, I think it was around $750, so it's cheaper than a 1,000-watt power bank. So there's a lot of reasons why this is much better. It just makes me feel better knowing that I don't have to worry about my refrigerator coming unplugged, is one thing. So, and I'll always have power. So that's the main reason. Let me know what you think in the comments, and like the video if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel, share it with others, let others see how to build this. Hopefully you learned something, and that's it, and we'll see you on the trails.